Thank you. The first question is interesting because it's very different when we present Speckle for architects versus for open source community, because for architects, it's like we need to highlight that we have some paid features. For open source, we need to highlight that it's actually open source. So coming back to your question, it's all in GitHub. It's fully open. The only paid feature that's not open source is the workspaces that was launched yesterday. And the only reason you would want to do that is if you would need the single sign-on feature or a particular data residency requirement, and you do not want to host the server yourself. So that's the only non-open source part. The rest is available. The second one is also interesting. It depends on a particular use case. We do not have a lot of active GIS community users that would give us what they're using it for. So it would be nice if you come to us and tell that this is a nice use case. The cases that I heard that people were using it is for environmental analysis, let's say, when they are replacing CAD plugin, import and export plugins, when they need the non-GIS data in GIS to run the analysis and give back the report, whether it's compliant or not. For modifications and more advanced workflows, it would be great to hear your specific use case, because honestly we don't know how it's being used right now.
Thank you. I'm just curious about the collaborative mapping. If you could go a bit more on detail on that. So does that mean, for example, that I can be, for example, editing a map with a team that is scattered all over the place, but the person on the other side sees in real time the features that I add or that I add to the map, or I need to first commit those features, then the other person has to refresh the map? How does that work? Can I just draw lines, for example? Because that sometimes is very useful. Like, I don't want to have a formal feature. I just want to go in the map and just draw a polygon, you know, where, well, I think this should be the development area, for example, and I just draw a polygon. How does that work?
So the collaborative mapping feature that's already available and usable right now, it's mainly through the comments. So you can put the comments on the 3D model that somebody else have created before. You can send the line from the application, not from the web view right now. But we are moving towards a deeper geospatial integration, and it is possible that later we might be able to add the features like comments, not only in a 3D view, but also in 2D view. That will be lines, polygons, or anything else.
Great work. I was challenged before to bring those two worlds together, and my question here would be like, how's the learning curve? Because you have two set of people that are used to, you know, edit things and create things in different software, and you're bringing them together. So, if you can comment about that. To use Speckle, to use like the platform.
We are working now also on the better onboarding process, because that has come up a lot. It came from a simple tool, so we never looked back and realized how more complex it has become. And it's one thing we're looking at right now. But basically the main idea behind is that you wouldn't need to learn Speckle as something special, that you would still stay within your own infrastructure, whatever software you were using. And it depends on the level you want to go. So to send and import data, it must be really easy. So the steps are to create an account and install the desktop account manager, which helps you to log in and install plugins and so on. And then within your software, you would just see the little pop-up which says send or receive the data. So that's the first step, the simplest one. Then you can go deeper and explore tools like automations, creating custom functions for your data. There are tools like the mapper, which is not map in the sense of GIS, but mapping the properties of, let's say, BIM object to CAD object and things like that. So depending on what you need exactly. There are always tutorials, and there is community forum. Then again, people are very responsive, but for the basic things like sending and receiving your data, it must be easy. If it's not, you should really give the feedback.
You say basically that you can take any data into Speckle and then you can visualize them, do things with that. Do the data can also go back to where they come from?
I have a short answer and a long answer. So it's very easy to get the data out, and we try to extract all possible properties that the host application supports. So if you send attributes from QGIS, if you send the families from Revit, it will all be in Speckle. The difficulty comes when you need to export it to either back or to other software. So exporting to other software might be not completely lossless, because if you send QGIS attributes to Blender or to Rhino, it just doesn't support attributes, so they will not be there. If you receive it back in QGIS, they are there, but it also depends on the, let's say, detail level. We convert the data usually in the most convenient format for, we call it data extraction workflow. So it would be easier to interact with the data you extract. So for example, one thing that I can think of why data would not be exactly the same when you return it back is that we export the data using the project coordinate reference system, not the data coordinate reference system. That is used to make the data match in a 3D space as, let's say, QGIS is projecting things on the fly. But 3D viewers don't support on-the-fly projection, so we kind of convert it. In other cases, most of the things we support, maybe we can support better things like metadata and symbology, but if you have a specific feature request, you should definitely raise it. Medium. The longer answer is that we are now developing what we call next generation connectors, because the current connectors are doing everything, and we kind of lost tracks of what can we expect and what should not we expect. So we are limiting functionalities in the next generation, and we are focusing on high quality data extraction, and we'll add step by step the import functionality when we know exactly what workflows should we focus on instead of targeting everything to everything. So thank you very much.